Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm your host, Sir Stephen Top of that, the third at your service. Today we're going to be talking about this seriously. Come on, guys, grow up. You're not kids anymore, and you're not adults properly. Now get your heads out of the cloud. Why? I had a little birdie just told me, thanks to EDP, the 24, obviously, the crappiest newspaper in the universe, even North Norfolk News, they don't know what they're fucking doing. Excuse my language. Why? I get a memo from a very high source that Sodor is going to have freight trains. What a wrong move to do. Why? Because they all screwed up from day one. So work backwards and go forwards. Why? I told you things will take time, but I'm watching the events unfold slowly. I'm not rushing in and jumping in with a gun and say, yeah, get off my property or fuck off to hell. Excuse my French. But it's fact. Do you know how I know? Let's take a look at it, shall we? Because I'm not going to be pissed about no more. I know whether I ever lied to anyone. What does that say? Could Norfolk get a new rail routes and stations? And the answer would be NO. Why? Think about it logically, guys. Don't screw your heads up with this bullshit that's coming in. Right? A lot of people don't know when steamies are good, steamies are bad. I don't get it. This guy, Dan Grimmer, don't know what he's doing. He's an asshole. Excuse my French. And you're telling me you want more and more and more? I said, look at the photographs, guys. Get real. This guy is a number one suspect, right? This is what it used to look like in the past. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't look like that now. And they all want to go forward, forward, forward. I said they won't have it. Nor would I, in any angle. So work it out. Look at the royal villages that we have got that need steam. We talk about King's Lynn. We talk about freight trains for them to a certain level. We're not saying a full whack head on. Why? Because what do they want? Money talks, bullshit walks. Come on, grow up. You know, when you talk about it realistically, they're showing you what they want. They're not going to get what they want. Why? Why? I'm just going to stop sharing that bit, but that gives you a damn point what they're after. From that to this. Now come on, guys, grow up. In every angle, it's time to talk. You want me to talk about this? And I already know this 24 hours behind schedule. I said, fuck off, will you? Grow up. This is what they want to turn all of this into. I said, no, they not. I said they could screw that. This is the guy we got to take down, Graham Plant. Norfolk County Council. Come on. You're not dealing with just a normal routine here. I'm seeing this already unfolded before you can even jump. So, back off. Words to express it. I said, if you really want all of that, look, you can see what they want to turn it into. Just by looking at this rural village, this is King's Lane, or which is normally known as Vickerstown. Wake up! So I know what's upside down, so don't tell me I'll go and bar me, because I'm not. So you want to turn that all into this? They won't have it, nor would I. So screw you. So what's happened? So when you say a major rail depot could be created in rural Norfolk, which is upside down as Sodor, under a business plans being considered by the county hall. I said, what do you want a county hall? They got nothing to do with Wales. Think about it logically. You screwed up before I can let you itemize this plan. I said to you, you're gonna get stumped. Every time. Right? We have to talk about it here and now before it gets out of order. Right? You say you want that to this. This is what it's done, isn't it? Cut with the BS and go straight to the point. Which I asked you to do so. The EDP? Bullshitters. Norfolk News? Bullshitters. Why? Because they really screwed up. So what did they do? They screw up everything they know, or what they are tended to know. Why they screwed up? Did my friend from America state this, saying diesels will fall, which they would do, and steam will rise? Why? And then they will cry fucking damn wolf. Why? They will definitely cry wolf. Why? Diesels will fall and steam will rise. Why? It's a question and it's a flaming good simple answer for everything here. This is not just a normal talk. This is adult talk. This is not bullshit talk either. Because I'm telling you straight down the line. So when you look at this, what comes into your head? You'd be saying, oh fuck, 18 comments? Think about it. Already 18 fucking comments right now. I said none of them would not want this. Right? I get where they're coming from a logical point of view to a point. When they ask for something that is a needy, not a wanty, that I told you, steam rises, diesels fall. Bang, bang, bang. Right? It doesn't matter what locomotive's running there. They just tells me that diesels are falling gently. Every time a diesel falls, steam rises again. 3 times off. So get it in your heads. So what happens when the diesel falls? 3 steam locomotives are being built behind your fucking back in secret locations. So back off, will you? So when it's shown in front of your fucking eyes, grow up. You got reality of it, but the fact is now you got to put up and say, how do we correct this fucking problem? Excuse my French, obviously putting it respectively, but then we get real around it. It's realistic, it's fact, and it's logic. There's no bullshit in this. Right, you talk about what you need and what you want. Yeah, of course. My friend from America stated that in black and white before it even commenced it. Why? Let me give you a heads up. Right, there are some things that are unfolding in truth that you can't understand right now. You're telling me I'm not ahead of schedule? I'm 24 hours behind you. That's what the fact is. So when you saying, oh, we want this and we need that, and we want this and we want that, what does you flaming damn want then? Because in the day, the railway routes that we all know and love, right, could have been your greatest advantage right now. And you're blaming the last, not the last descendant of the Hatts. There's more to come. So work it out. When everything unfolds naturally, it unfolds in front of you, right? Then you're asking why. Okay, let me give you something that will fucking rattle your heads. Why? I get the point. You want this, and you want that, and you want that, and we need this. I said I know what is a need, and I know what is a want is. But you gotta bloody put it in black and white paper and realise what is more efficient. Freight trains or steam trains. A lot of you will look up to steam because why? Steam is what keeps it going. Steam is what's flying by you. And you're just looking at it and everybody appreciates steam more than freight trains, you assholes. Every Norfolk County Council should back off before they make the decision that is wrong. I know exactly what you've got in your little heads of yours. Ding, 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 ding. Right? I'm not bullshitting with you. Right? Regardless that we have to have the time to talk, we don't often talk in socialisation in front of public. Why? Because I'm always fucking honest. Right? Okay. You have to be realistic here. You gotta get. When you look at Norfolk or Sodor upside down, you need to get realistic on certain things or certain areas or certain particular areas. Right? When we do talk, I don't talk bullshit. I'm straight to the point with every one of you. Everybody knows what's unfolding in truth. They're not bullshitting with me on that, so they can't argue with me. I've got taxi drivers. I've got people that know me too well, and they know what needs to be done to correct the problem. Right? So you got freight trains got on the list. Right? They published it, and they're not bullshitting. Why? Right, let me give you a heads up on one big problem that you're not going to see it coming because it's too late, or either that you can't be bothered routine. I said to you, you're going to get stumped. Right, when we talk about this in general aspects, I said to you, you're going to get stumped. It doesn't matter which way you look at it, it's realistic, everyone, in every angle. So when I say this, it's realistic, and you telling me what? Shit, he knows. I already knew this before it got published 24 hours ago. So don't tell me you're gonna make a slip up, because he just did. So what happens? Dan slips up. He told us, Steamies, that we are very useful. Don't give me all the shit and say I'm not. Well, the rest and what he knew, there's a head of sticker and all. 3 hours ago you published this. I'll tell you, take that down or I'm going to slap you silly. Local government want to take over. Okay, local government, fuck up. Basically. So it's there, black and white, so you can't fucking say I'm a liar on that. So when it unfolds in truth, who you gonna blame? Me? No! You can't blame me! Because it wasn't my choice. It wasn't my decision. Number one. Number two, it ain't stabbed people in the back. So three, the suspect is on the line. So work forward. Every diesel that drops down, 3 steam locomotives are being built. So work it out in your little tricky little mind and work out how they're going to achieve that to get a freight train forward. Right, we talk about Vickerstown as example, right? Which is part of Kings Lynn and South Lynn, which is your terms. Right? I understand exactly what you're doing before you jump off the cliff. Right? If you were doing the railway route from Vickerstown to Hanstanton, which is Hanstanton, which is true, Kirk Ronan is Hanstanton, you got to work out, oh fuck, he knows about this. I said, yeah, I fucking damn do. But they don't want freight trains go to that department either, you little shits. Why? I caught you out by the balls and you're not lame. Why? It's realistic and it's unfolded in front of you. I've been told 24 hours behind schedule. So why do you think I picked up on it so damn bloody quick? You can't bullshit. You can't lie. You lied because you fucked up. So what's happened? It's time to talk. Let's talk. I said, look around you, you bloody dope. You got it all in there, black and white. No lies, no deceit. And you want steam back? We're getting steam back. But remember, while all the diesels are all breaking down, they fuck up and they go to scrap heap. Why? Because they tend to go to scrap heap because steam locomotives are rebuilt. Why? Just think about this like a long time ago situation where we had Dr. Beatty, right? A similar situation in every angle, and you had the same bloody problem every time. But this time, it's on the diesels. Why? Why do you think the Norfolk Railway's acting like a bunch of morons as well? 1940s weekend coming up. They screwed up on that too, you know. Use your common sense up here. How do I know what they are running up there without me jumping in like a high horse? I never would hurt them in any direction. However, while you got that big little problem in your head saying what shit, crap, whatever, you know what I mean, routine in your head. So let me tell you something. You got this to worry about, and a lot of people just don't give a damn. I said, look at it. Right over on the far right hand corner, it's the news article that's been published in there. Right, when we talk about this reality, I said it's all there in bloody black and white, right? Right, when people look at this and really think about it twice, I said to you, you're gonna get stumped. Pardon me. So look at it. You know, I'm not bullshitting with you in every angle. I said to you, you're gonna get bloody damn stumped. Honest, and you're gonna say, what? Fuck, shit. Why? It's realistic, it's fact, and it's logic. But they screwed up. Why? In the day, they screwed up because it was realistic from the beginning. I told you you're gonna get stumped by me at some point, and now look at you. You're probably wondering what the flaming hell can we fix this problem before he gets snappy. I said you're gonna get stumped. Every time there is a big problem that's coming your way, don't bloody cry wolf when it's all there in bloody black and white. So, when it's shown in front of your face, don't tell me I'm lying because it's already there in black and white. No Photoshop, no nothing, because I don't use them. Why, I've been honest with you that what the EDP publishes 24 hours ahead of what I already know. So, while the rest knows this, that's strike one, then me, strike two, then my mother, strike three, then it comes back to dark, that's strike four, then it goes back to my other half of my family. Now wake up and smell the coffee up here, because you screwed up. Everybody's name will be published on the description, and they will be targeted because they got wrong. And I told you from day one, every diesel that drops down, 3 steam locomotives are being built. So wake up here. Because it's all happening, all in truth. So every steam locomotive you bloody burnt down in 1969, I think that was 2000 in general, now it's biting you on the arse. So you can't argue what happened before. You're trying to prevent it from happening again, which is true. A lot of people are because they're standing up. Why? Because there's 8 billion people to think about. It's not just me on the line. 8 billion people. Billion. Not just one individual. When I talk about this is realistic. Why? When people think this is not the end, I said, watch. I'm going to catch these little shitbags out. Right? Anybody maybe not watching this, but this is all realistic. It's time to talk and it's time to chat. My family's reputation is not on the line right now, but look at where it's going forward. Right? I warned you. I told you. And I shown you. Just watch. Guess who's coming on the line in the end? Adam Taylor. Wake up here. Why, Adam Taylor is a friend of the family, but he's actually my granddaughter's son. So wake up and smell the bloody coffee. So when you look in the mirror and when you realise what the fuck, I said look at the diesel team falling apart. Which I'm not laughing about it in general. Why, I've been realistic in front of you. When you gonna argue, you can't argue what's unfolded in front of your bloody damn eyes. This is the guy that you need to try and prevent. Right, I'm now just going to do another screenshot of this little asshole. Excuse my French. This is the guy that's trying to take you all on, head on. So if the Norfolk County Council wants to fight, just watch. I won't be fighting back as hard. Why? Too kind and really useful. This guy wants to take you down. Why? Because they are not thinking straight. It's a what is a needy and what's a wanty. That is a wanty that you're seeing. Right? So in the day, all the railway trades of the past should know this by now. The L&ER and the Great Western and all the other LMS include Great Northern and all the rest and their counterparts underneath that too, the Foundation. Why all the railway people in the Norfolk County Council don't know what they're bloody doing. He may be the cabinet, but he's an arsehole cabinet. Why? I had the same bloody problem before. Like I said, lightning can't happen strike twice with this guy. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Right? So if you want that to be turned into this, that's what you're going to end up with if you keep harassing him. If you harass him, you're fueling him up and saying, I shag you up, I shag you up. Excuse my French, but that's one way to play political. But that's what you're doing. You're screwing up. So I caught him out before he moved on for to say yes or no job. So I'm doing all the answers for you. So realistically, get real, will you? You're seeing it unfold naturally. But while that's happening, the North Norfolk Railway is still providing steam. Why? They want to progress forward too. So when the North Norfolk Railway wants to go through Holt and all the other department, right? You screwed up, Norfolk County Council, and you always had done. You just didn't know how to unfold it properly, how to get a mutual agreement to use, not abuse. You abused your situation, you abused everything else, and look at where it's come unfolded now. It fucked you all over before you even made a decision. So look at it. I may be a little bit mouthy, but I'm telling you the damn truth, aren't I? Look at me. The only person that knows all of this information 24 hours behind schedule. Why? It doesn't matter what decision you made it, and I got to know about it beforehand. Work it in your heads. Your heads were waking up going, whoa, 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 whoa. And it comes on paper, ding, 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 ding. People type, and they don't acknowledge what faults they've got. You take, what I would have done is take the EDP out. I said the tabloids will fuck you up, and now they screwed you up. Plus the Norfolk County Council, strike two. Then you got their connections and their assholes, and you got them a strike 3, 4, 5, and 6. What does it tell you? Back off, because the Hats are back, and they're gonna take you down, one by one. And it's not about winning. It's about what people's needs are. Right? You talk about the freight trains, right? They could be done by steam trains anyway. Right? With diesels, they just break down halfway down the line. Why? Every diesel that drops down, like my friend quoted, said, Pre-steam locomotives have been built in secret locations. So wake up and smell the damn coffee up here. It's getting realistic, I get it. But you have to be realistic on what's unfolding in front of you. Right? The North Norfolk Railway or the Norfolk area cannot stay flat freight trains all the time. It doesn't make sense. And number one, number two, and number three, you gotta get realistic. So when you think of Kings Lynn or Vicarstown as I know it, I say it to you, you are pushing your luck to a very high degree, and it doesn't go well with everything else. Right? You got a Hatt member of the family that knows what he's talking about, so I'm not bullshitting with you. I'm straight to the bloody point. I get to the point all the time with you guys. You want a time to talk more? I said less of the bullshit, more of what is needed, not a wanting. This is why the councils fail on you. If the government can't help you, the councils would fail as well. Why? Because they screw up. Look the way they're doing it. They're screwing you up. They're telling you about the freight trains in Norfolk. I said, Norfolk, look in the other direction. Look at other places that could do with the benefit of freight trains. Do a freight path that doesn't interact with the main, let's say, what you call the mainline fleet. Right? Let me break this down for you so people can understand. When the Norfolk County Council applies certain railway lines in play, right? There has to be an agreement in the middle to say, look, okay, that controller's been watching us and he knew every move we made before we made it. Correct. But then you guys have to work out at your end to say, look, okay, he's made his valid point, but that is a correct point. I get where he's coming from. Logically, down the line, I know what your minds are thinking. And you're Dan the man, he thinks he's proud. He likes steam down the line, he loves steam. In his heart, he loves steam. So he can't fuck me up because he needs me to keep steam alive. That's number one. Number two, when you order him to do a bloody written material about the freight train, don't bother because he's a steam lover. Right? When the steam lover comes alive, so does steam even for. Think about it. When Dan was in the shed, he said steamies are not as bad as you think they are. Why? Because we're ending up fighting back 10 times more because we know what we're talking about. You know, when James and a lot of the other engines in their sheds, all in a row, talking about how diesels were very bad at one point, and then devious diesel apologises, blah blah blah. It's going forward. I said to you, you're gonna get stumped because the fat controller is always in the middle trying to solve your problems. So you're gonna end up saying, why does he know about Dan? Then easy people say, oh fuck, we've been caught. You see, when people realise I've been watching you from a distance, don't say how far. Right? I'm telling you, while the Western knows too much about me and how my timeline should be unfolded. Don't screw up because I already know what you've been doing behind your back. So when Dan was in the picture, who's part of the EDP write-up, he said, okay, a freight train. Right, he prefers steam over freight trains. Think up there. Now, when it comes to the agreement, right, I said to you, steam is more popular than freight trains. Why? Let me give you an example, because it goes back to the 1950s and 1940s, something round about that era. Right, Queen Elizabeth II, who is King Charles's mother, my add, right, used to take steam trains to go to her hometown or her place in Norfolk, right? That's true. By the Duchess engine by herself, ding ding up there. I'm not lying. The Duchess used to travel on the Kirk Ronan, which is Hanstanton, all the way to King's Lynn, which is Bickerstown, right? And they stopped at the middle near Rolf's Castle, example, right? They go in there and they go to the Queen Elizabeth's place where she stayed at, right? I'm not bullshitting with you with that. If I know that, that means I've got knowledge about it. Right? You can't bullshit with the bush. So I'm telling you, straight from the horse's mouth. It's true, it's fact, and it's logic. Right? People gonna have to learn the hard way and realise Dan made a slip up. He said, I prefer steamies over diesels. Why? Because it ends up saying freight train is the diesel. Why? Because they're not steamy. When you got steam locomotives that want to go back to King's Lynn and Stanton, bang! That's Bickerstown all the way to Kirkwonan. It's there in black and white, but the reason why it was built the way it was, from beginning to end, I told you you're gonna get stumped. Everywhere my line used to run, or the way my grandfather's way used to run, right? Bing, balla, boom. Hit it. Right? Then you try and say, why? Why? And it all adds up. Then people will start asking the biggest question of their lives. Why do you need freight trains to run a certain amount of mileage to get where you want to go? I can't get that in people's heads right now, where they're not thinking straight. They all think diesels are better than steamies. I said they're flaming not. Steamies can run on one piston, where diesels can break down and they've broken down and they have to get repaired. Right? When diesels tend to break down, then they turn into scrap heap because they have to be reverted to steam. Steam is more powerful, as my friend quoted from America. He doesn't lie. He's been honest at that point on the very first podcast. You lot screwed yourselves nearly right over, right? And it was all facts, it was all logic, it was all truth, it was all of this. I said it's all there in bloody black and white. Why argue about something that's realistic? Right? We know from the beginning that it's all there in black and white. So when they're all told some truth and logic for you, you're going to ask yourself, even the Norfolk County Council will have to rethink on this. Why? Because you can't just have freight trains going in that direction. You're going to have steam trains doing that direction. You're talking about rail permits? No. We're not going through that direction in any angle. Why? Look at the way you're thinking, the way you talk, the way you're thinking at the moment. You're want. I said this is not a want. People need as well. There's two things in play here, but two people are telling you what is a needy and what's a wanty. I said Dan preferred steam over diesels. He may have been a diesel, but he's a steamy lover as well. His two halves become one. So while they became, when Dan was in the shed with me, or shed with the other engines, he said, and he quotedly said, steamies are not as bad as diesels. Why? Because we all worked there together in the end. But then you got to work out how did he know that? Like I said, connections are everywhere. Right? You don't screw up what's been told in front of you. Right, you're gonna end up with a big sticky situation where the Norfolk County Council will fuck you up. Excuse my language, but it's a fact. But you're not gonna do what needs to be done the hard way round because you want freight trains, you want steam trains. Right, one person is neutral with both. Right, he can't just publish an article like that and then realise, oh fuck, steamies are really useful. When he goes back and watches the very first podcast, he will understand what's unfolded so bloody far, and it will click, 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 click. Why? I told you, I'm one step ahead of all of you. Doesn't matter what age or sex or gender you are, bang! Right? My steam team and me are watching you from the distance. I told you that, and you're gonna pay for it. Right? I said to you, you're gonna end up waking up and smelling the damn coffee. Right? It's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. It's straight to the point. Freight trains are not part of a coastal route. Right? When it's coastal routes like Kingsland to Hatt and Stanton, no, 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 no. Freight trains go through the docks and directly out to the mainland. Why? Freight trains carry all the goods. Why? But they break down, correct? Steamies don't. Why? They've been preserved so bloody well for so many years for you that you've forgotten what steam trains are really useful about. We're going to talk about steam trains now rather than later because I want you to get your head screwed on. Right, that article may have pissed you off. For a steamy lover, I must admit, it may piss you all off. Right, steam lovers, diesel lovers. Right, I get you two like to argue, fight and punch out. Right, when you're children and you've got those personalities, they do clash. You bully, you cyber bully, you do everything under the radar. When children, do not act like that ever again. Right, so you need to compromise somewhere down the line when you're in school. When children, do not act like that. You know what I mean? Down the line, you have to compromise who your friends are and what you're going to respect on. Right? Starts off right. Women, children into women, adults. Okay. When women adults surface, you do not fuck them off. You don't fuck about, and you definitely don't put them in NHS. Why? Bloodliners. So leave them alone. It's a word to express it for a lot of people. But then they grow up and then they just carry on the bloodline like normal to keep everybody bloody happy. Right, now you got this. Let's talk about let's talk about steam trains themselves. Why they are important. Why are they delicate at this point? We're going to talk about steam trains now and get your head in the cleared mode. Right? A lot of you that know steam trains quite well, right? You know the specs, the actual know-all, you need to know basis. There are things about steam trains that are more powerful than diesels combined. But when they work together on a 50-50 compromise, they don't fight, they don't argue, they don't debate, they don't do nothing. Why? You're going to ask yourself the biggest question, like a stumping in the middle, right? You're going to ask why steam trains more powerful and they are more dignified to keep running on the lines, the main lines that are permanent, for example. Why? Because it's their line as well, you know. It's not just about the diesels. Why? They keep moving, I get it. But when they break down, what comes along? A steam train. We talk about steam trains. Let's talk about steam trains. Why they are dignified to keep running. Why you're using them as a museum type, General. Why a lot of people are trying to do something behind people's back to a lot of degree. Right, which I'm not happy about. Right, I get that. There are a lot of people that have certain specs for certain engines, not replicas, not everything like that. We're talking about real life steam engines that are still floating about today. They are really useful. They can run on one piston, and they can, as long as you maintain them and keep them really useful, they become really useful steam team on the fleet, on the proper rails. But then you got to work out, why do we need to keep them running? I think you can't keep them in the museum all your life, because that'd be like fucking scrap heap in the end for you guys. Right, to the people that look after those steam trains, right? They don't, they've forgotten how really useful they really are. Since the 1845 to 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, then diesel started coming in with the 1950s and 60s, and then everybody's forgotten about steam and totally forgotten how really useful they are. So when the steam trains used to run, oh yeah, let's keep going, let's keep going, let's keep going. Right, because they can run on one piston, even that, and they can still get your goods on time. But you may have it a little bit late, obviously. Steam can run over 100 miles per hour, but they can't push it any further. Why? Health and safety, health and safety, health and safety. Why? Because steam trains can keep going and going and going and going. Every 10 years they have to be maintained. Why? I get that because I've already been notified. Why? Because Hagel has gone through her maintenance overhaul. Why? Because I understand that. When people understand where I'm coming from, then you're asking about diesels. Let's talk about diesels and freight trains, right? Just for a moment. Right? You know how crap they're going to be because once they've broken down, steam trains always back them up. Why? Right? We all talk about this seriously and it gets to the point. Why do steam trains are more really useful than anything besides they can run on one piston? They can be easy maintained, they can be rectified and all of that. But if you're going to lock them up in a museum all the time and keep them polished up and all of that, their pistons will be stiff. So stiff, they won't be able to move again. Let's say, for example, a K2, right, which is one in the museum, right, hanging up, right, which I know about, right, number 36, right. I told you, you're gonna get stumped. Why? His parts are frozen solid to a point, right? But because he was stiff and he wasn't able to move as it used to be, right? Everybody's forgotten about number 36, K2, right? We know his name is Edward by short terms for me, obviously. But then you've got to get realistic. Then people say, what happened to the other engines? I said, look what you got now compared to what you had before. Right? A lot of people make mistakes, slip ups, fuck ups, all of it. I get the language is coming down my language, I apologise. But it's realistic. Then you've got people asking about freight trains. Fuck off. Why? Steam is coming in. Why? You know the problem is with you guys out there that don't know jack shit from your monkey's uncle. I said the history will catch up with you and it's biting you on the ass. Why? I get a lot of people where you know what I'm talking about from logical sense. The Norfolk Railway knows this. Right? Diesels can help steamies to a point. But then when diesels break down, steamies come back. Why? They keep talking about steam trains like they're not just for museums, for show showing, as they call it. They're not mentified for that. when you keep them motivated, like a piston that needs moving all the time, you have to rectify and say, "Oh shit, we can't keep this in the museum for too long because when it get expires, the 10 years expires, it goes back in for overhaul for a checkup." So then what happened? You left the K2 on a fucking bloody hanging up, number 36, and you end up saying, "Oh fuck, we did screw up." Why, I know everything you screwed up on. Right, I get there's a lot to be taken on board. I said steam teams, the steam trains are getting used in different departments around Norfolk right now, or even Sodor upside down. I know everything. So don't tell me I don't know bloody back shit, because I've been talking to my private connections about this. Why? Because they know exactly what's coming out of my mouth. I won't bullshit with you, and I won't lie with you. So somebody that wants freight trains in Norfolk, why, you're gonna say no. Why? Because steam trains are more reliable. But you've got to be realistic. You could have what could be a beneficial need and a connection, but people are trying to push for it, but you're stopping it, and the Norfolk County Council fucked up, and you've got these steam trains coming out for show for a moment, right? You don't want them for show. You want them on a regular basis. You don't want to piss about. Right, I get the time it's time to talk, because a lot of people just won't listen to reality and the fact about it. Why did Dan was in the shed with a free bunch of steamies and say he heard diesel story, blah blah blah, as I go. You know how it goes, because you don't want me to retell that story again and again. But I told you, steamies are more really useful because they always had been. Right? When facts have been put in front of you, while the rest of this timeline is playing out the way it should, but there's a little bit of catch up with me. Right now you're getting it out of my mouth, not his. You're getting the facts right out of my mouth, and you're not bloody paying attention anymore. I said the facts are there in black and white. Right? Now you're all like saying steamies are coming back. Of course they are. In every angle. So work it out and smell the coffee for blaming once. And realise what? The Norfolk County Council just got cancelled out. Why? They won't be able to say anything because I'm already in their bucket saying, no, you cannot. Why? Because I'm always honest with you guys. Straight from the horse's mouth, straight forward. No lies, no deceits, no dishonesty. Straight honesty. Right, Stevies are coming back nearly every year. And they always show themselves on the main line. They're always showing themselves coming back slowly. But they're not watching it because it takes time. Why? People want freight trains. People want diesel trains. People want steamies. But steamies are more powerful. Why? They are more reliable and really useful on the line. So people are going to start waking up and smelling the damn coffee, for God's sake. This is why it is important. Why steam always come back fighting. Why? Because we are more reliable and really useful on every part of the old lines as well as the new lines. I get well, the Norfolk County Council want. They want a new rail freight train. Right? I said no. Why? Because it's wrong. Dan, who wrote the article, knew it was wrong. But if you fucking push him to the limit where he says, you want your money? You want your money? That's what he said. What they saying to him? You want this? You got to do the article. That's what they're telling you. EDP against him. Dan knew it was wrong. Dan, who was writing the article, who I could not give out the surname for, he said, "What? If I don't do this article, I don't get paid." Well, you are going to get paid, my man, because every day that article is coming down. Why? Because you deserve your money. Regardless, you know that steamies are really useful. You know something they don't. And that's keeping in your mind in check. Wake up and smell the damn coffee. It's all damn true. Why? It's all reality. So, if I tell you it's all reality, look up Wild Northwest's timeline then. That's all adding up to all of this. The fact is all true. It's all logic. It's all facts. Right? People know I'm passionate. People know I am truthful. I'm honest, straightforward, straight to the core. I tell you now, my steam team are already ahead of schedule. I said to you, do you want freight trains going everywhere around Norfolk? Do you want diesels everywhere? No. I told you steam will overcome them because they always break down and steam will always prevail. Why? Look at yourself. A lot of steam trains are starting coming out of their sheds. Why? Ask yourself. One person, right, who quoted, "You are very passionate about this." I said, "Yes, I am, but it's blood related and all down to the core." Why? Because I don't take no bullshit. Why? People know what is right from wrong, but it's honesty. Wild Northwester, who did season 4 and 5 of the early years, obviously, the modern years is to do with my family in general as well. But in the day, you're not seeing the full picture about it. Look how much of a mess up you made when you want something like a freight train coming on board. Ding ding, doesn't add up, does it? So when you think this is all no BS, I said Dan should got paid, yes, but he should never publish that article. Not even in the North Norfolk News. Not even in the EDP. Why? He knew it was wrong. He knew it was wrong because he knew he was in the shed of all my engines. Work it out. I know every person on this fucking planet and you guys are not looking at it. I said I'm bloody damn true. It's time to talk. Yes, of course it's true. Because I've got people I know from the outside in, looking inside your boxes, making sure people get paid, but not actually publish any articles. Why? The North Norfolk County Council can't do nothing about it because it's reality that's been thrown back at them. Why? Because I know all the mistakes you made. So let's take it from my age that I am now, at age of 40, which I look like a 21-year-old, for obvious reasons. Clues are everywhere. And I'm telling you now, right, get real. If you haven't seen Wild Northwester's timeline, people will pick up on this and they will wake up and smell the damn coffee. Why? People said you're very passionate about this, but up here she's not thinking straight. So realistically, you have to get realistic, right? So when you look at realistically around it, look around it. Look the way the puzzle's unfolding in front of you right now. You're gonna end up with a big screw up. People that don't know me, right, personally, I said to you it's gonna hit you in the face. I said steamies have been more really useful than diesels will ever be. Right, my friend told me this, told you from America, who I know quite well, and that's passed on to everybody in Australia, Europe, all the other places around the globe, all backing me up. Why? There's 8 billion people trying to protect me. Why? Know the truth up here. But they're waiting for unfoldment all the time. When I see a slip up, I will deal with it personally in black and white. In reality, you're getting Wild West's timeline. But at the same time, you want to screw that up? Be my guest, because in the day, you're going to screw your lives up. And that's what will happen. And then you end up realizing, oh fuck, we should listen to this guy. Right, you got the steam locomotives coming back, right? And steam will override the freight trains, diesel trains, all of those shitbags, and they will break down easily. Why? Because they run that day and night without no problems, and they will break down one. Why? Why do you think rail network do all these fucking problems? Then they will say, oh shit. When a steam train runs on the line, all it needs is coal and water. Right? They can run on one piston, coal and water on top. So all you have to do is maintenancely check how fast they go, inefficiently, on a line, and you'll end up with one big gun. And you will say, oh shit, he's right. And I will tell you now, steam always overpowers the next generation of trains on the line. Always. Why do you think the Great Western Railway Company is fucked up? Why do you think all the other companies are all fucked up and very small and short? Why? Because you try to do something that's impossible right now. Right at this moment, you've got your fat controller trying to guide you and support you here. It's not about running, losing, or being dismeaner. I said it's all flaming damn true. I said, you don't think I'm not lying? Why do you think I'm not laughing? Right? And in the day, people are going to ask questions when you need the answers for, and you won't be able to have them because you've been screwing up. Right? People know that. Right? They know it, I know it, and you know it, and everything unfolds for a reason. So when it unfolds in front of you, it's all true, it's all logic, and it's all facts. Get real for once in your bloody life. Right? You're gonna end up with a bloody problem that you can't solve because you're fucked up from the bottom up, and you've been screwing up everything you started from the beginning. You're not dealing with just your, oh, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, let's do that. I said, what happens is people will die, then they will start asking questions. Why? Just ask yourself, why did people die in the right time at the right place, and you don't even know why? One scientific question, that's actually the real answer I'm going to give you. Why? There are way blood people out there. Why? They don't know why they die on the day that they're supposed to be dying on, and they know what to unfold next. Right? When it unfolds in front of you, right, then people start asking questions what they want answers for. I said to you, get real. 2,000 engines, right? 2,000 engines, right? That happened in 1969. Get fucking real. And you're telling me you scrapped those engines yourself. Your ascendants did it, not my ascendants, because we just provide what you need. Right? In the day, it's not about the wants. When you got the steam trains coming back in your face, respect them as like they're vehicles. Respect them as they are moving, not stuck in their sheds or stuck in the museum. Right? When we use them, you have to treat them like they were available to you in the 1950s, 40s, and 30s. Right? So when the steam trains arise, respect them. Don't give them rail permits on the fucking line because they don't deserve to be treated like that. They are highly well respected and really useful. You will wonder why when the diesels always break down and they end up coming forward. Just watch. Because it's all facts, it's all true, and it's all logic. If you wanna be dismeaner on me, I tell you, then you could be watching out to go to court. The law will sort you out and they will say you're getting a fine. Why? You see, a lot of the events have to unfold naturally to a point. Why? When we deal with the steam trains, they're coming back at your face, telling you, they're basically telling me, hello, sir, welcome back, sir, bang, bang, as they would. And they will tell you straight from the horse's mouth. You can't argue what's unfolding in front of you. You don't like it? Tough, lose your job. Right? People appreciate steam for one reason. It's not just about running on one piston or having coal and water, which we used to run it on. And the problem is, people forgot the old way so bloody much that they've forgotten how to run it. People start to realise why the old ways matter. It's the foundation, you bloody twats out there. A lot of people, people, know the bloody damn truth. Why is 10,000 people of you, 10k people, out there that do know the bloody background to this? Why? Sometimes a lot of you don't appreciate what you got until you lose it. That's a fact. Why? A lot of people just don't know the background of history. They don't realise why steam is appreciated more than diesels in general. Why? People forgotten why. Why? A lot of people go to arm's length to do what is needed to be done. It's all true, it's all facts, it's all logic. You got a guy that's acting like bloody Dr. Beeching, for starters. And you telling me you want freight trains on the fucking line? No. I'm making the decision for him because I can override his protocols. So went forward. The steam always prevails over freight trains, diesel trains, it doesn't matter. The thing is, what you have to realise, steam trains have the ability to turn around with turntables and all of that, which they don't use much of now these days because people whip them out, put shopping malls in their places, and all of that shit in. I said, I know food and water is a very high key, but they can done it in a different direction and all of that. Why, when people look up steam trains of the past, do they respect them all the time? The answer is not always a yes. It's always a no. Why? Because they appreciate diesels because they want the fastest locomotives on the line. I said watch out because they break down easy. Ding, 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 ding. So, because they have to be maintained as much as steamies do. But the diesels don't realise how powerful or how fast they can go and they break down instantly. You see the rail network all going down, 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 downhill because they screw up. They've got one, right, when it comes to steams and diesels, they always work together as 50-50. You can't just leave steam trains in the museum to be stiffened up. It's wrong, it's inaccurate, and then you'll end up with a fucking load of steam trains locked up in the museum and then getting rusted. Why? Because then you'll be saying, oh fuck. I told you I'm one step ahead of everybody near enough. But I always said to you, you have to be realistic. When steam trains have been running on the lines a lot more longer than those bloody diesels or electrified trains, or I don't give a shit. The problem is, the bottom line in the end is that steam trains are more reliable than anything. People will look back on it and they will say, oh, they're not fast enough. Oh, bullshit in the head. Think. What does steam do that diesels can't do or electric trains can't do. It's not about speed. Health and safety comes first, obviously, being the obvious max. But then you got to realise, fuck's sake, what this man got that we haven't fucking got. I said to you, you're gonna get stumped, right? It's always had been that way because I've always been honest with you. Right, when people watch this video over and over again, they're gonna start wondering why. Right, my all the railway families have a secret behind their backs. I get it. But when they know, when railway families got brought up with a certain knowledge, they keep that knowledge through descendant, without mentioning the names. But in the day, you didn't realise that steamies had to be used as well as diesels. I said, yeah. Why? Because steamies are really useful. And you can't beat that in any angle. So work it out. When you want something bad enough, right, when you want freight trains and all that, not a good sign. You see, freight trains are like diesel trains. They can only run so much before they can explode. Why? Right, let's take it for example that the rail network has to deal with a breakdown train. Right, and they can't fucking fix it on the line. Then they had to call out who I call Rocky. Rocky picks up that, boom, 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 takes them away, and then it'd be scrap heap. Why? Because they're useless. When it comes down to steam, it can be fixed, it can be motivated, it can run on one piston, it can also use coal and water at the time. But today, you got to realise up here, how did he know that much knowledge in one brain, and why? Hatt, member of a family, as we surface. Why? Because we are realistic, not bloody child's game. So when you're looking for answers that you can't find all the time, ask yourself this question. Why? The answer's looking right in your face and you're looking at yourself, shit, he knows a lot more than we do. I said, yeah. I told you you're going to be stumped. I told you I'm on your tail. But in the day, you got to get realistic. I think a lot of people out there are still asking that question. Why? Like I said, you're going to get stumped and you're going to end up crying wolf. That applies to Sheringham, Cromer, and West London, and all of Norfolk. And they're going to end up crying wolf because they want to know why. And I already given you that answer. Flip it upside down and look at it. Why? Because you didn't want to listen the first time. You didn't want to listen the second time. You don't want to look at it the third time. Now it's caught up with your head and they'll realise, fuck. Yeah, well, I told you so in any angle. So what does that prove? You can't argue with me. Because I own all of your asses. Why? Because I have to protect you all. So think about it. You have a member of the Hatt family that speaks the way he does, which is me, obviously, knows everything that's unfolding, 24 hours behind schedule, and it goes forward, and said this. One word, one set of quote that will kick your butt. What's the world that spins so well? So now you've got to realise why steam is more really useful, because they can do the job as much as a diesels would, even freight trains. So get it in all your thick skulls. You've got steam trains, use them. Don't abuse them. Because at the end of the day, I am catching you all out, one by one, and then Dan will realise, oh shit, I wish I hadn't wrote that article. But then Dan will think in his shed and realise, crap, I've been caught. But not for the wrong reason. It's just we rectifying that reason because steamies are still really useful today to do the same job. Why? Steam trains can pull freight trains, ca- passenger trains, all of that, and they still can break down with one piston and still do this, and still pull the same thing. Why? Diesel trains break down, freight trains break down. Why? We're talking about the engine itself, not the actual outcome. Think about it up here, because it's all logic in the head. The problem is people don't do research to able to understand why. Why did we fuck up? This is your question that you're thinking in your head. Why did we fuck up? And he's coming out with the correct answers that you want. I always give you the advice you need, you stupid dopes. It all runs in your head, but at the same time, it tells you the truth, the facts, the logics. Do you think I'm going to catch everyone out? Yes. Why? I know the answers to nearly everything you got in your head. All you have to do is wait patiently. So when it unfolds in front of you, you're going to ask a question that you want the answers for. And then one day you will say steamies are more really useful. Why? Because it can run on one piston. It has coal and water, which is true. And then you're adding up the last resort. Why? For every diesel that drops out, 3 steam locomotives are being rebuilt. Why? Because they know certain people know they are really useful. But when you got them in a museum, trapped up and stiffened up and really not moving, you're then asking yourself the question up here. The problem is with you guys, you don't respect it. And that's the reason why you came back hard with all diesels and electrified trains. Right? When you got HS2 engines going on, they will fuck up the same as the originals. So work it out. You talk about fast trains, they will crash, they will burn, and they will kill you instantly. Why do you think we have speed limits for? Not just for fucking just getting you there on time. It's making sure they can handle it on the rails. If the rails go crap, then you will say, oh, fucking Connor was right about this. That Jen was right. And I will tell you now, I will not bullshit with you. You got freight trains that you want diesel trains that you want HS2s, high speed 2 trains, obviously. Then you want steamies to be kept running. Why? Because they're really useful as well. Why? Overheard from the Great Line, obviously, fine line, that Diesel told me he came back to Sodor because he was becoming obsolete as well as much as steamies were. Then Dan, who was writing that article, for example, said, "Oh yeah, blah 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 blah," do it like that, and then boom, he got his money. But do you know what he did with that money? He said, "Fuck you." Because why? He deleted that article in the end because he know he screwed up. Because the guy that wanted the freight trains was in the wrong. So work it out. When you've got steamies that are really useful, but you're not using them correctly to a T, I said you will end up with one problem. Tragedy. Why? Tragedy comes next. Why? Because you have to think. Then you got to rectify it before you fucked it. It's like saying to yourself, why does he know so much? And I'm telling you ahead of schedule because I don't want you to fuck up. Right? It's realistic. Come on, guys. This is why it's all realistic. Why do you think people know too much? Why? Because we know so much. Okay, let me give you an example here, right? With a steamies, you're gonna get them to run with one piston, drive along, and with a freight train or a passenger train, they always keep going, going, going. Why? You're not gonna lose steamies, however, it's how you treat them with respect. Why? Diesels can run so far and they can break down and they're ending up with steamies back on the field. Why? Rotation. Why? When it's electrified train, same fucking problem. Freight trains, same fucking problem. Why? Because they break down easy. Now you're talking about high speed 2 trains, right? HS2s. Right? They break down because they fucked up. Right? The government pushed so fucking hard for that they've forgotten what is a needy and what is a wanty. Right? The government fucked up on you. I warned you. I told you, and I'm showing you now. I told you it's time to talk. Money talks, bullshit walks. I'm sitting here just making you sure that you slipped up all the time. But Dan is probably now thinking about it without mentioning his surname. He said, la 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 la, I told you so. He listened to other people rather than the press. Why? The council, the Norfolk County Council themselves, are shitting themselves in their pants. They're peeing in their pants. And they also crapping in their pants. Why? Because they screwed up. So the council screwed up. Big time. And now they're paying the price. Right? And they're going to end up saying, oh, fuck. I told you you're going to get stumped. You see, without reasoning and understanding why Norfolk is so special, it's been monitoring you from the distance. I told you I don't have to jump in front of your face and knock you out as example, because I'm not that type of guy. But realistically, when you talk about freight trains and all that, you're not gonna get it. Because people have to be what you call not just observant, but understand the situation where you're putting it. Because, like I said, there are things that could be done to a certain level of degree. Right? People don't expect freight trains go through towns, villages, and all of that. That's bullshit. Right? When it's normally steam trains or that type of that department, people appreciate it more. Why? Because they all come on a platform, but when it comes down to freight trains, they don't want to fucking know. Why? With diesel trains, as it used to be in the old days, before the HS high speed trains and high speed 2 trains, they all fucked up. Why? Because certain people made mistakes in the past. Why? They thought they were more faster, more efficient, then they start breaking down and steam trains still overbeat your asses all the time. Because steam trains are more reliable, more really useful, and more down to T. But no one's prepared to pick up a book and realise that. You just don't get it in your heads to realise why did this diesel break down, or why did this high speed train break down, why did HS2 break down, and then it all comes back in your face with the same fucking answer. Told you. Right, I get it that you are not in the times of the past and from present to the future. Right, you're gonna in the future, you're gonna have the same fucking problem. And who are you gonna blame? You can't blame me, you're blaming yourself. Why? Because you screwed up. Right, it's all true from the horse's mouth. No lies, no deceits, no dishonesty. Straight from the horse's mouth. You're not going to pay attention anymore because you realise it's all facts, it's all realistic, and it's all truth. Why? When my grandfather saw what you were fucking damn doing, before he died, obviously, may I add, he caught you right out and he let me know in advance. So now you're screwed up. Oh, but you haven't screwed up completely yet. Why? Because I'm here. Right? People know right from wrong, but they have to think up here to realise, shit, he's caught us all out. Oh yeah, my steamies don't lie to me. Diesels would to a point. Then he apologises because Diesel's like that. But it's not happened yet because you've gone too far ahead. When people see what's unfolding in front of you, then you're asking the big question in your heads, still floating, saying, how can steamies be really useful? Use your head for a moment. Think about it. Why is steamies so reliable? Just work around it. Just work around it. Even if diesels are starting to come in at that time, during the 50s and 60s, what did you expect? High speed this, high speed that. I saw you progressing forward, you assholes. Why, everybody in Sheringham, everybody in Quayman knows this answer, but they're not saying it out loud. All they had to do is watch my actions to get the right result. All the time I'm catching you out. Left, right, and centre. Right, the Norfolk County or the Norfolk County Council screwed up. I said I will catch them out. Right, when we talk about this seriously, it's all reality of the events unfolding that you already saw in fiction. Get your head out of the clouds. Right, a lot of you understand it's all true, it's all facts, it's all logic. You can't lie about that. Right, so while it's unfolding in front of you in truth, steamies are more reliable than diesels and NHS2s and NHSs all at once. Why? Because they break down easily and steamies come back to the rescue all the time. You see, I'm telling you now. Now you're getting the front end road end seat to this, saying it's all time to talk, no actions, just straight point what's gonna be right in front of your face. I said to you, steamies are more reliable than diesels, and in the day you're gonna end up with saying shit, shit, shit. I said it's all true, it's all reality, it's all facts, it's all logic. Why, why, why do you really want a freight train going into bloody Norfolk? Can't see that happening at all. Why? Because they will look at the charts properly and do some research before jumping in. Right? The EDP fucked up. Right? Dad's probably thinking in his head he knows that I'm right. He knows that I'm not bullshitting. I'm straight to the point. It's time to talk. There's no bullshit in all of this. Right, when you want something on a plate, it's really gonna say, oh crap. Right, because it's reality, fact, and logic. Right, when you want a freight train going into Norfolk, no, 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 no. It's not supposed to happen that way because it wasn't. Wild Northwest's timeline proved that point because Wild Northwester told me in advance. So he's not lying, he's not being deceitful, he's been not dishonest with you, same as me. Why? Because we're all on the same page, me and him. We're not bullshitting. So I'm telling you now, right, the Norfolk County Council cut point. Why? Because what they're doing to you is destroying what's meant to unfold naturally. Why? You screwed up. Why? You screwed up because they screwed up for one reason. They want freight trains. Not going to get them. Why? Steam is more reliable than anything. Steam is actually more reliable because regardless they are in museums at the moment, which is why everybody's looking at it and looking at it in a global way as well. Well, this is why it should be published in the United States of America to say steam is more reliable because diesels break down so easily. Right? Then you've got HS2s in London to Birmingham and all that. That will break down and they will cut down those railway lines. Why? Because they fucked up. The government fucked up. The Norfolk County Council fucked up. This is what the reality of it is coming forward, and I'm punching it all down. Why? Why do I go back down to the foundation? To help you understand the build up. Right? Slowly. I'm not bullshitting through this. Why? Because I will never bullshit. Why? When you see it unfold in truth, then you are asking yourself, crap my pants, they let all day crap their pants, and it all unfolds in front of them. Why? Because they screwed up. So Dan, who was the writer of all of this, right, he stated a major rail depot could be created in the Royal Norfolk under the right served by the county hall, obviously. Which it won't happen. Why? Because they screwed up. So Dan will get his money, obviously, but then he will have to take down the article because that is not going to be proved because I'm here to say no, it won't be. Why? Because if it does get approved, then they screwed up. Caught them out by the balls of the chain of command. Ding, 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 ding. Why? I'm telling you, you have to realise that steam is more reliable. When it comes down to everything, you ask why the HS2s are a little bit shitty at the moment. Why? Too fast on the railway lines and they'll be fucking destroyed. Why? Because they're too really quick. Right? We all think this is all a joke. I said, look, steam is more safer than diesels and all the others. I said, look, if you put the two together, it will work out right. Why? A lot of people don't get what is coming to them until it's unfolded in front of them. Why? They don't like it? Tough. Because I'm now going to take control of the government to make sure it doesn't happen. Because in the day, it's putting them right, putting their respect in line, and say, respect me, and you will get everything on a plate. Because in the day, when you got somebody that knows what they're doing and talking about, I said to you, you're going to get stumped. People try to warn you about me and tell you about me. You weren't paying attention. I said to you, it's time to talk. If you really want to be time to talk, I said, look, watch and learn as it unfolds in front of you. Because in the day, if the freight trains come back into power, steam trains can do it better than them. So work it out, Ford. Why can steam trains do passenger and freight trains all at once? Just think about it. Steam trains have a way of knowing things ahead of schedule before you. Right? I'm not gonna bullshit with the bush. Right? But the reality factor is like you gotta wake up and smell the bloody flaming coffee when it comes unfoldedly in front of you. But you have to see it with your own eyes and ears to work it all out. I said to you, I warned you, I told you, even Wild and the West has told you, that's gone through the global state of this. Right? They know what's unfolding gently, and they will watch it unfold. You're doing it too quickly. Number one. Number two, you need let's say my department to work around you, help you out, straighten you out. Right, I'm telling you now. I am gonna give out this person's name in the description, but the way it's unfolding in front of you, Dan said that steamies are still really useful today as they were long time ago. Why? Because they can do things still really useful up to this point, but the health and safety of them is more reliable because they keep running regardless with one piston. So if you didn't learn that, then you obviously screwed up in school. Why? They don't teach you this in school because they teach you mathematics, geography on top, and then they got art and all the other shit bags. Even the GCSEs have got a lot to do with it. I said, bullshit the qualifications, my friends. Railway children are coming back in. Why? Then something up here will click in their heads. Always. And then reverse psychology will come in and then bumps you, uncle. Why? They will wake up and smell a bloody effing coffee like I did. Why? Because I always smell the coffee. When I, well, a lot of people in this department will say, what? Shit, crap, bang, what? I said, steam is really useful. Why? Because they are. People forgot the old ways so bloody much. Only by 30 years, my ad. You then ask yourself, why? When a lot of pressures are on you, when a lot of times come forward, obviously, you're asking yourself a question that you can't answer. Your heads are saying, we fucked ourselves. Right? A lot of you will say that because it's true. Right? The councils are fucked. Everything is fucked. Right? We got to realise we have to go backwards to go forwards. Right? Steamies have to do their job. Steamies have to go forward as much as you lot do. But in the day, you're gonna end up with a one big answer in your head. I get a lot of people want this freight trains and all that. I said, fucking hell, guys, grow up. Right? Because in the day, it's all realistic, for God's sake. When people say, oh, you're very passionate and all that, I said, bullshit that. It's realistic, you silly mare. Right, we talk about a female that's quoted on that. I said, you don't know what you're talking about, you silly cow. Excuse my French, there's one cow on a line, innit? Get rid of. Right, it's all realistic. It's just like saying, do your research before you jump off a cliff. Right? It's what a lot of people used to tell me that. Right? I'm reversing it back at you because I said, grow up then. Do your homework. Right? Usually a lot of railway lines get preserved, right? Which is true. Let me give you an example, right? There is one railway line that can be reconverted back into standard gauge. Now, a lot of you might think, what's he talking about there? Well, let me give you an example, right? Right, we talk about steamies, how really useful they are. We got to that chapter. Now we are going into railway lines themselves, right? A lot of people forget the old ways like it was a new way job. Why? I told you the Norfolk County Council fucked up. That's a definite yes. Right? I'm not gonna lie on that because that's true. Right? When we talk about railway lines that are well preserved today, some of them most of them are actually standard gauge reversible. What I say is reversing the old ways to get it going again, right? A lot of people forgot what it's like to deal with the old way system, right? The new ways cannot work as efficiently as they can at this moment because you're dealing with straightforward fucking answers from me. Excuse my language in any angle. And you've got to be realistic on everything here. Right? We are dealing with what you're dealing with now. It's like the councils want this, this, and this. They're not going to get it because it isn't a needy, it's a wanty. Right? You've got steamies that are still really useful today. You're not seeing it because you're not what? Fucking hell, what does he mean by that? Steam cranes, obviously being the obvious. But like I said, let's get to the topic of these railway lines that can be reconverted to standard gauge. Right? There are things in your life that may be not relevant now because you're not thinking on your feet. Right? Let me take you an example, right? There are a lot of railway lines that cannot be rebuilt today because roads have taken over. Right? Big mistake. Right? A lot of people want the fat controller's railway back, which is my grandfather's railway system. Right? Oh, what does he mean by that? Excuse him, what? Work backwards and go forward, you arsewites. Who's the last descendant of the Hatt right now? Me. So I'm being realistic with you guys. Right? So these people now, the council's fucked up because they want freight trains. I said the steamies can still do that job as well. Why? Because they are really useful and they always straight to the point. Right? What I want you to understand, these railway lines that coexist with all the other main lines that we got today, right? You have to realise they are heritage railway lines to a certain level degree, right? People are recommending to do things, challenging themselves to get where they want to be. Needy, not wanting. This is a complete need, and I'm telling you what this need is. Right? When we talk about railway lines of the past, present, and future, we have to be considered of one thing, one answer, straight to the point, right? You're asking these questions in your head. Even the councils are doing this. But they can't go back to the government because the government can't help them because they screwed up. They're so screwed up saying, vote for us, vote for us, vote for us, do this, do this, do that. Right? Cut the crap. Right? Because that's where the BS is and you're not thinking straight. Right? When you deal with Norfolk, it's a really tight area where everybody knows everything from underneath. Right? There's a lot of reasons why railway lines exist to a point, right? Some have been, over time, have been converted into narrow gauge instead of standard gauge, but they screwed up. Right? Now, I'm going to give you an example here, which may help you understand why it is important to bring back standard gauge as well as narrow gauge. But narrow gauge is normally not on our Norfolk / Sodor territory. Right? A lot of people know this from day one, from the day they fucked up and realised what did we do wrong. Right? A third generation kicks in and we are here to help you out straight from the horse's mouth. Right? I told you it's time to talk. Now it's time to talk. No bullshit, no nothing. Straight to the point with everything. Right? People thought this is all BS. I said no, it's not. It never has been, never will be. Right? When people know why it unfolds the correct way and it gets down to the point and it always goes down to the bottom, left, right, and centre, then you're going to start asking questions more than what your money's worth can handle, and the council's already messed up because they screwed up, right? We have to be realistic, right? Of everything that's unfolded, right? Railway men and women should know this a lot more better than anything, right? Right. To accomplish people's goals these days, some of them have to give up what they need to give people what they need rather than wants. Right? The councils have to drop everything that's railway related to able to understand the metaphorically why this I am in charge to deal with this job because I'm trying to put things correct and correct everything that's unfolded in front of you. Right? People say Sodor's railways are very important to everybody. NWR or Norfolk Railway Lines, as they used to call them in the past, and Great Eastern and the Midland and Great Northern combined together as the NWR. Right? Every day you've got to ask yourself the big question. Right? There is one railway line that I really want to talk about, right? It's well known as a narrow gauge railway line called the Bear Valley Railway Line, which is narrow gauge right now. Right? They can reconvert that into a standard gauge line if they need to. Right? A standard gauge line all the way from Elsham all the way to Wroxham. Right? Which they can reconvert that back to standard gauge. Which is true. It's no lie, no deception in that. Right? The people that work on the Bear Valley Railway Line know me too damn well, so they won't argue with my experience and my knowledge and my details and everything else of understanding the railway lines upside down because they had to look upside down to get the Sodor routes in general, right? A lot of you have to realise, okay, what does this mean? Well, let me explain another situation where I told you about that. Right? A lot of you make mistakes in the past that you really ending up regretting. Right? And you feel upset, depressed, obviously feel like, what the fuck all did we do wrong? And everything else. I said, yeah, well, look around you. You're not seeing it just from a steam engine's point of view. You're seeing it from everything else point of view, right? A lot of people are reconnecting the old railway lines to the main line to actually to establish the connection they need, not want. But you have to be realistic on everything you see. It's not just about what the councils want, because they always think of the want. They don't think of people's needs. They don't think, how can we help and then improve a performance of rail performance at this moment when they already fucked up in the early years before I was born. Right? I don't need a lecture from the council because they already screwed up. Right? They screwed it up so bloody badly they don't know where they're coming or going. Right? I'm not laughing. However, the thing is, when the railway lines get reconnected, it's a blessing for a lot of people. But there's things that you do need, which are turntables, which is not often commonly, and they always get dismantled in the 50s and the 60s because they thought they were not going to be used much longer. I said there's a lot of stations that did have that. I'm not saying that it's in the wrong. But did you think hard enough to realise this is all reality of what's unfolding in front of you? I said you're going to get stumped hard. The councils will get stumped hard. Why? You have to be realistic. When you think about places in Vickerstown and Kirkronan and Welsh Castle and all the other places, Dark Cannon and New and all the others, and section rescue centres and all of that, and then Maron, and then Wellsworth, then Crosby, then Natford, and everywhere else, Then you start adding it up in your head a little bit more. When it all unfolds naturally for you guys, you got what you need, but you just need to say, right, shit, shit, shit. Steam trains are coming back, bang, 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 which it is. I'm not saying they all going to come out all at the same time. Right? We've got some in maintenance mode right now, which is true. There's no lie in that. Hazel's overhaul, everything's overhaul. Then you've got the North Norfolk Railway, and you fucking asking for rail permits. Screw it. Because you screwed up somewhere. Now you're telling me you want bloody freight trains. I said steam trains can do the same bloody job, you know. I know every model that could easily help your situation. Right? I used to have a steam train called Rosie. No lie, no joke. Right? I know the personality that had that, but then guess what? Ring a ding ding. Then you're asking about the steam train itself. Then people start thinking up here now. Click, 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 click. It's all reality. Why tempt fate when it's already unfolding in front of you? So ask yourself the question. Why everything is unfolding in front of you naturally? Why? You see, by pushing me aside, as a word to express it, you're destroying yourselves. Why? And I'm telling you how to correct the problem without, and this is why I'm in my base to try to help everybody else out. Not just the North Norfolk Railway. The North Norfolk Railway is my headquarters as a North Western Railway Company. So look forward. Right. The other reason why we talk about it properly by the books, right? There are reasons around it that you can't see by the naked eye, right? There are things that can be reconverted to a standard gauge, which is true. This is why I said the Bear Valley Railway line is an example of what they could have done if they reconverted to a standard gauge line. Right? They will reconnect it to Wroxham, which is true. The turntable can be used to convert that to standard gauge as well, and then it bumps your uncle. But the thing is, you have to be realistic in how you see it. He's saying, what? How does he work that out? I said, it's telling you, right, the council messed up. They're not gonna win what they already screwed up on. Right? People know exactly what's meant to unfold naturally, but not as quick. Because in the day you're screwed up. So when it unfolds in front of you, what? It's there in black and white. I said, how many railway lines, main lines, are connected to heritage railway lines these days? Right? We think we take them for granted, but we don't. Let's take, right, there's a railway line near Lowestoft that could have been reconnected to the other line, correct? Which would have been the Arsdale line. Right, it's correct. But it's a standard gauge line. Why? It's near Lowestoft area, which is where the main connection is Great Yarmouth to Lowestoft area. Which it might give you a hint. But you see, people don't appreciate old railway lines like they used to. Right? A lot of you thought walking past, okay. There's a lot of railway lines out there that can be reconverted back to the railway lines they once used. Now, the thing is, a lot of people want things to be achieved in life, right? Right? There's a lot of things in the community that need, not want, right? They don't want or they don't need rail freight trains because they can use steam trains to replace them to get them running, going and going and going. I said use those steam trains as example because I don't want them all locked up in the museum, for example. Because I don't expect that, number one. And number two, it'd be a fucked up on your end because I'll be telling you harshly how to solve that problem without me going down on your neck. Right? When the railways all played out, right, you have to look at it from both sides of the coin before you can jump. Right? A lot of people say, what the hell is he talking about? I said, how do you think people survive? Through heritage, railway lines, main lines? What happens if they all connect back up? Why? A lot of people make this common mistake for obvious reasons. Why? I get that there are a lot of things need to be explained, but it cannot be explained all in one day. I get that, but the Norfolk County Council need to drop their rail freight idea and shove it down their throat. Because that's the first thing you gotta do. Is knock them out. Because I know what was meant to unfold before you jumped off that cliff and made that decision. Now I told Dan, who's actually who wrote that article, you can have your money, but you got to scrap that article. Why? Right job to do. Why? Because you find out that the steam locomotives and steam railways are still really useful this very day. Right? There are people that support steam rather than diesels half the time because they think about it and realise what they want is what they're going to get. Right? All they have to do is unfold it correctly in the right manner. Right? Dan is now probably writing away and thinking, oh, I screwed up, I screwed up, I screwed up. I said I'm going to catch you out one day. Right? People know people. Connections know connections, as they say. But you have to come clean on everything they tell you to write about. Because when you talk about rail freight trains, steamies can still do it better. Because why? They are more powerful, more stronger, and more efficient to a degree. Right? I get it. There's a lot of things in your head that might be spinning in your head, and you can't work it all out. I said, how does this guy know so bloody much? And then you have to go back to the Thomas the Tank books to work it out. Hard work and a lot of research. Plus, it's my family you're dealing with as well. So if you screw my family up, it will totally screw you over. It's like one without the other, right? It's time to talk, but it's no BS in any of this. But it's the way you playing it that's doing all the damage sometimes, and not even realise I slipped up routine. Right, I'm not laughing, I'm not joking as such. What can you do to improve the performance of railways as it is without using electric or HS2's example? I said, look, I get it that you've got a lot on your plate. The London Underground is still professional to be used, but I'm talking about the main lines. I'm talking about the steam train lines or the electric train lines that are still used by steam as well. I said they don't need a permit for God's sake. When you add it all up in your head, you're gonna say what shit, crap, dump, bump. I said it's true, it's fact. Why lie? I'm not lying to no one here. So you got your railway issue being put in place, which then you got to realise, oh shit, he's on to us. Norfolk County Council can't do nothing. Why? Because I caught them, nailed it in the bud before the bomb exploded in my face, basically. Right? When people publish articles, sometimes they don't think before they speak. Dan realises that steam is still really useful today, right? And then he realised he hadn't published that article as an example. But then you got to work backwards to go forwards. So, like I said, there's a lot of a lot of it is what you're seeing is what you're getting to a point. But then you got to realise why. Why I'm not going to be trying. I'm overriding the Norfolk County Council so they don't make a slip up. Why? When a lot of things unfold naturally, they are in reverse, may I add. When you watch Wagner Wester, it's going forward. It's showing you first, then reverse it to go back a bit. Why? Fix everything. So when you think you got everything on a plate, I said, no, you haven't. You screwed up. So every time I'm reversing and seeing what mistakes you're making, I said, I'm already reversing everything back to the way it was because it has to be safeguarded, you stupid prats. You know what I mean? I'm sorry for being harsh, but it's a fact and all. You know, when the facts are there in black and white, you don't argue with it. You know, when the facts are there, people say I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. But you have to be realistic. On the way you unfolding it could be more damaging than yourselves. So in the day, when you got somebody that wants, I said, look, when people do things for us sometimes, they don't think straight all the time. And a lot of us like me who think about it, making sure I'm 24 hours behind you with all the knowledge that you're about to absorb out to the community, I said to you, what's your step? Because when you're targeting my way, your bloody downfall will be your own. Why? Because you screwed up. And I said to a lot of people out there, the reason why it's all there in black and white and it's all done and dusted, but I already put Dan in his place to say, look, you heard the steamy side, why we survive, why we go forward with the steamy side. Why? Because they're still really useful today. And that's why people forget it and they see diesels rise. And I said, don't let them rise because you'll be screwed. Why? And it's not my fault. Then you got to work out why. Why did this guy know everything about this and really corrected everything from day one? I said, did you ever know that the EDP has to be a little bit completely honest? I said, I'm really telling Dan now, grow up. Because without the beard that he has on at the moment, I know what he looks like as an ancient form. So I work backwards when he's in our sheds, talking to my other steamies and try and wiggle, bam, bam, knowing the story of it and saying that steamies and diesels are not as bad as each other. Because every time diesels are becoming obsolete as much as the steamies are. And in the day, they're both equalised, but then you gotta realise why. Just keep thinking on that line for yourself. Because it's all real, it's all facts, and it's all truth. You see, the Bear Valley Railway line, which is based in Norfolk, can be reconverted back to standard gauge to get all the standard gauge lines back, right? Slowly catch a monkey, right? You really want to see it unfold gently? Now you're going to see it unfold. Because it's reality. When the Norfolk County Council realise they screwed up here, they're going to think twice and say, what, he's on to us. Like I said, I'm not talking bullshit. Let me explain something to you why You have to be treading carefully rather than just publishing it like it should. But at the end of the day, you're getting what you need from me, but at the same time, you got something else to worry about because the Norfolk County Council want to screw everything up. I said, don't put a freight train on my railway lines without acknowledging why. Why do it and then ending up realizing that Dan, right? People don't realize until it's too bloody damn late. So when it comes to you and everybody else, I'm going to tell Dan that he's been watched by me in any angle. Doesn't matter how far I am watching him. Not Wild the Wester because he's already told you in advance. So he wasn't lying to you, nor would I. Thank you very much in every angle.